Okay, we're on the air. Hi, everybody. We're here to talk about Confused Spice. We've had some technical difficulties. Mathis is with us in voice only for the moment. Hopefully, he will be able to get his image up on the screen. So we've decided to start anyway. So I'm going to let everybody introduce themselves. You know me, I'm Brown Girl Reading. I'm here with...
Hey! Hi, you guys. This is Denise Cooper from Art Books and Life. How you guys doing?
Hello, Denise. You can't hear, or you can't see me, but I'm here.
Yeah, Mathis is there.
Hi, Mathis.
Hey.
Okay, and then we have Morgan Gayle, and then we have, of course, Michael Reeves. Okay, so why don't we start with talking about how you felt about a Confused Spice. So who wants to start?
So I'll start. I would say I really enjoyed it. So I read it during a time where I just needed something light and fun, and I think I got that from this book. I also picked it up so I could pick it, so I could like fulfill my, was it the Book Riot reading challenge for like a LGBTQ romance? So I'll ask you about that later. But I must say, like, I enjoyed like seeing like a male friendship and just like the sexual tension between VJ and Pierre. And I must say I enjoyed like the erotic scenes because I don't read many books with those type of scenes in it, but I really enjoyed them. So yay, Mathis for that.
All right, so I'll go next. I enjoyed this book. Actually, when Mathis sent this book to me, I kept smiling and smiling and smiling. And the reason I was smiling so dang hard is because I remember doing NaNoWriMo with Mathis, and I finished and he didn't, but who got a book? Mathis. I love this book. It was fun. And I literally got hungry when we started cooking together. I got hungry. I got, like, when VJ didn't have or hadn't had soul food, I was like, come on now. Hook him up. So he hooked him up, and I was like so hungry. Thank God we went to go see my sister this weekend, and she is the soul food queen. So I was happy I had this book. I told her all about it, and I was like, and the food, oh my God, the food, right? But yeah, Mathis, you hit it. It felt good to read and to get all that little sexual tension that Morgan was talking about. And also I love the anticipation.
There's two Mathises.
Okay, these technical difficulties are the there you go. All right. All right. Okay, Michael, what did you think?
Yes, I actually liked it too, also with everybody else. It's a genre I don't normally pick from. I guess the only other books I guess I would have read something like this was
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah, we can. The only other books I've ever read something like this was from like Harris. What's his first name? Oh my God.
Elaine Harris.
Yeah. And I enjoy those books too. And my favorite part of this is the food, obviously. So the food.
Yeah, the food was pretty bomb.
Yeah, my favorite.
I don't know. I think my favorite. Okay, I really did enjoy the food, but I did enjoy the sexual tension between the two guys, between VJ and Pierre. I thought that was very well done. And I liked how the family relationship was portrayed. Like VJ's family was, wow, his mom is a lot, okay? She's a lot. She's like,
well, it's in the
wow.
face.
I don't know. She's a lot. She was doing the most, his mama. Yes, but I like that part because because you see the difference between the family, Pierre's family and VJ's family. It's amazing the difference, between their families, and how that difference is kind of like makes the outcome of their personalities and the way they are as young men.
I liked his mother, how even though I don't know if I'm supposed to be talking about the book yet, but when you're talking about the mother, and even though she was a little too much, and her relationship with Frank and his stepfather wasn't traditional. When you watch, I watched a traditional way that Indian families marry, and they all get together in that arrangement and so forth. And she wanted that for her son, but we also know why she wanted it for her son. She was trying to get him away from what she knew about her son.
Exactly.
And I like that Mathis kept that in there. That traditional part of that Indian culture could not have been left out this book. So I think it was really good that he put that in the book.
Yeah, I think that was good too. That's the Indian culture in there is a very good personal touch, and it gets us into this idea of the arranged marriage. But did you see that coming about the mother's backstory, or were you surprised?
No, because I think I wasn't surprised, because at least when I first met Mathis on book 2, he has a love for Indian culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew that if he's going to write a book, he's going to put it in there.
Yeah.
He's not going to just leave it. So I was expecting it because of what we kind of know of him. And I've sent him an Abraham Verghese book, the one that you told me to read, Cutting for Stone, didn't you? Yeah. And then I see that. So we already kind of know that about Mathis. And then for him to have that element in there, I expected it, and I liked what he did. So even though his mother wasn't in a typical arranged marriage, the way that their culture is set up, she still had those expectations because she was still holding on to that, and I expected that to be in there and covered. So,
yeah, I would say his mom is driven.
Yeah,
she seems driven by her work.
Very
driven by perfection as well. That's the impression I got.
With the mom, I wasn't surprised because I feel like that's a common thing in Asian culture in general. I know, especially in Filipino media, it's almost like a character that's real, that I feel as though it's in every drama that my family watches, that they're controlling in a way, but it's controlling in the sense that they have a purpose behind it. Like they want their child to do better in that regard.
Absolutely.
Definitely. Pierre, are you there? I mean, Mathis, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you see me? I'm here. I'm just listening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I ask you this question, Mathis, about every time you wrote VJ, it made me laugh when it was like "yo" was at the end of the phrases.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like, why?
It made me laugh so hard.
What was funny?
I was like, oh, he's killing me with this.
Yeah, I was like, is this just a character thing? Is this him trying to be cool? Is this like a Canadian thing? I was like, I don't.
Yeah, it's that Canadian thing.
Well, BJ, when I write characters, I have no attention on how they sound. Actually, it just comes out how they actually talk, if that make any sense. And as I was writing BJ, he just took on, he was so into hip hop, into the hip hop culture. And so he liked to put on like a New York accent. Yeah. And so that's where that part came up from. So that's sometimes when you say yo or bro, he just into the hip hop culture. And that's the reason why he speaks that way.
Okay. Yeah, that brought me back to like in the 80s when I lived in New Jersey in the East Coast, and everybody said yo at the end of everything. So I immediately thought of VJ and even the clothes that you put on him and the way he was very East Coast. So it made me think of that, because even people that are not from the East Coast, when they're into hip hop culture, they could be from Japan or, you know, North Dakota or wherever, they're going to speak like VJ, you know, because they're, you know, that's what they're into.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Yeah. And
I have a question.
I'll go.
I'm sorry. Okay, when I was reading this book, of course, all the chapters have, you know, the name of the characters in it. And then I literally was like got all excited because I saw Maya Angelou. And this is on chapter 15.
Yes,
and
I like that too.
Yeah. By the moments that take our breath away, Maya Angelou. And I was like, I wanted to know why you all of a sudden chose to put that there. I mean, I love that in there, especially for this whole book, because and that sexual, you know, chemistry that they have, and it fit with that. But why did you put it right there at 15? Why did you put her there?
Oh my! I wrote down the same question. So
that's a good question. So the reason why I put that there, because Maya Angelou, she represents positivity, and so I wanted to honor her in some way, because I really love Maya Angelou. And so I put that there because BJ, he was going through meditation classes. Yeah. And so he decided to bring along Pierre as well. And they decided to take meditation. And meditation, you have to breathe. It's a lot of breathing in meditation. And so you should enjoy every moment that you experience in life. So it's just feeling with just taking a deep breath and just enjoy the moment, just be in the present moment. And so that's the reason why I put that there. And it had a lot to do with Buddhism philosophy as well when it comes to breathing. So and that was the first time when people actually experienced the Buddhism philosophy. And so that's another reason why I put that there as well. And so it was just a lot of breathing.
Yeah, it fits so well because every time you hear her voice, she speaks in that really smooth cadence that feels like meditation anyway. And she just makes you like so positive and so peaceful. And so I appreciated how it connected with his meditation. I just really liked it, but I was like, oh my goodness, this is Maya Angelou. And it fits so well. So
yeah, you got it. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, that's exactly what I was trying to get across.
Yeah, that's awesome. I want to know how. Oh, let me shut up. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead. Ask your question.
I wanted to know because I'm so excited, as you can probably tell. I could high five you in the air. I'm so happy for you.
We can do
how does it feel? How does it feel like having your book out there? And I just, as happy as we are for you, how does it really feel to you?
It still feels like surreal. I can't believe it's even out there. Like when I see it in bookstores and how they display it and everything, it's like, okay. It's like, I really don't get it in a way. Like, it's funny, like I didn't expect for it to go as far as it did for some reason. I don't know. Like I didn't expect this, what we're doing right now. So it's just funny how things works out. But it's just a really cool feeling that people are enjoying the book, and I just take it every day, this at a time as this book goes farther and further. But it's a cool experience.
Yeah, I think people are ready for it. You know.
Yeah. And
it just blew up because people are ready for it. Yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you a question about. I think it's pretty much maybe the first quarter of the book. It seems like you tried to use stereotypes of gay men through the meeting of VJ and Pierre. Was that something that you were doing on purpose, or did that just naturally come out in your writing?
That just naturally came out in my writing. I was not doing stereotypes. That was not my intentions. you know, this is how they're actually, this is how they actually behave.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was not my intentions at all.
Okay. Well, something else I wanted to ask you was about oh, I can't think of what it is now. I should have written it down.
If I'm looking to this,
Go ahead.
reading everyone's
ask your question while I'm. Are people asking questions?
Oh, they're just saying some comments, but I'll ask them. If you have any questions, just put it on the chat and I'll announce it.
Yeah.
So, but everybody, let's see. Carl Lewis Atlanta says, Mathis stuck the topics he has a knowledge base on, and it came through in the book. Readers felt the writer knew what he was talking about. I enjoyed hearing about the meals and matching his Instagram pics of photos. Angela says, great to see this dialogue. And then the product junkie, she said, yeah, so 80s, everyone loves hip-hop culture. Hip-hop culture is becoming the default culture for teenagers around the world. That's so true.
Mm-hmm.
I hear it all the time from my cousins. I don't even know half the stuff that they talk about now. A Love For Me says, such a great cover, perfect for shelves. Congratulations, we need part 2. Will there
Yeah, when is part 2 coming out?
That's the question I've been getting since the book came out.
Because you left us hanging over here now.
I know.
Yeah,
Really
exactly.
did.
So actually, I started writing part 2 last year, and so I'm still like working on it. So it should be out 2018.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
That's good. That's better than Netflix. Because Netflix be leaving us hanging for 3 years on stuff, you know? So that's
It sure does.
Yeah. So look out for that.
That's awesome.
Someone asked, do you think VJ's mother didn't like Pierre when she initially met him because she had her suspicions already that her son might be gay?
Yeah, I wasn't so sure about that.
I thought she knew immediately. I just, because the way she was looking at him from a side across the room. Yeah, she already knew. But the thing is, I think she knew because she knew her son.
Yeah.
She knows her son.
Yeah.
So I thought that was
well, VJ, he lives a very edgy life. And so his mother is very suspicious of his friends, his behavior. So she's just very a suspicious woman. She just want to make sure her son's on the right path in life, and she just trying to see, trying to help him in some type of way to put him on the right path. What she thinks is the right path, and so that's what his mother represents in his life.
So what's the deal? Is DeAndre really, is he bisexual? Or is he on the down? Which one?
Thank you. That was like my burning question.
I don't know. What is it? Is he on the down low? Is he bisexual?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Denise.
Yeah, I was like, is he just shady or like? I just wanna pigeonhole him as bisexual, but I'm not sure if that's like actually how he identifies. If he identifies as anything.
But I don't think he identifies as that. Well, I mean, I think maybe in his head he identifies it, but he's not going to say it out loud. Right. I mean, come on. Yeah. He's over here. He's with a man that he says he loves. At the same time, he's getting a chick. That's a lot, you know. Well, I think that's the only one that's confused. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
That's the only one that's confused.
Yeah. That's the confused. He was the actual true confused spice of the book, then, right?
So DeAndre, he is bisexual. Okay. So he is still struggling with his sexuality in some ways, but yeah, he's bisexual. Is he on a down low? Well, I would say, well, the girl he fooled around with knew he was on the Dia. Me on he's bisexual, not Dia, but bisexual. And so, however, he just doesn't tell everybody about his sexuality. He feels like it's none of their business, and that's how most people feel. The sexuality is none of their business at the workplace. And so, he's just one of those people that don't tell everybody. Pierre, on the other hand, he's open. He doesn't care what he tell people that he's married or not married, but in a relationship with a guy, or I mean, Pierre, it doesn't make a big deal, but DeAndre thinks otherwise. Thinks differently than Pierre when it comes to his sexuality. So
that's what I liked about Pierre was VJ and DeAndre both saw those things in Pierre that they wanted to be. Like they wanted to be as out and open possibly. And again, it's nobody's business like DeAndre was possibly feel. And not everybody goes around calling themselves on the DL or whatever and label themselves. They just are who they are. They like what they like, whether it's female or a male. And that represents a lot of people in the right now. That's why I say the book's probably so right now, and that's why it's flying off the shelves and everywhere. But I like the fact that VJ was just admitting to him, wow, and because Pierre was just so positive and he was just out there, and it makes you happy when it's contagious when somebody knows who they are and they're just out there being happy. And obviously DeAndre wanted to because he wanted to marry the man at some point. So I think they both really his just being who he was.
His openness, yeah. So is DeMarcus, is he based on a real person?
DeMarcus.
You don't have to say who, but you can say yeah.
DeMarcus is not really based on a real person. DeMarcus, the way I created his character, I just took experiences from everybody that I met and I just put all in one. And so, but no, it's not. He doesn't pertain really anyone that I know in life. But he doesn't really pertain anyone that. But I do have a best friend that lives in Atlanta. However, he doesn't really behave like DeMarcus.
Like DeMarcus, yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't behave like DeMarcus. But my friend in Atlanta, he does give me advice and everything like that. But he doesn't really act like DeMarcus.
All right.
DeMarcus is his own person.
So I guess.
What is it, Morgan?
So I guess I'll take that question and just segue it into how much of this maybe parallels to your real life, Mathis, without incriminating yourself, if it's more than you would like to reveal. I'm just curious.
Oh, she went there.
I know, I just had to ask.
It says so on the back.
I know. Yeah. If I could do it over, actually, I would probably set Pierre somewhere else other than Detroit or something, because I feel like to parallel his life to my life as well. We have a lot of stuff in common, actually. But what they say, write what you know, and so that's how I was writing the book. Right. I was writing what I know instead of placing Pierre somewhere else, like California or something like that. But I when I was writing the book, I was just writing. That's how the book came about. I do enjoy cooking. That's one of my passions. I love to eat. I love to travel around the world and try different cuisines. And so a lot of Pierre is in Pierre. A lot of myself is in Pierre. But yeah, we live parallel lives, but the story is not my autobiography or anything like that. I don't have a spouse that's on a DL or struggling with bisexuality like that. But I met people like that. So I met people like that. So that's the thing. It's like you would get some of me in the book, some of my experiences, but all of it's not my experience. My experiences. It's from other people's experiences. And so that's what it is. My life, the story does parallel, but it's not that much.
Yeah, okay.
If that makes sense.
Thanks.
All right. Has anybody out there got any other questions, Michael?
No, the product junkie just said she thought VJ might have been fluid, but basically, oh yeah, okay. He says she also thought it was based on your experiences too, Mathis.
Of the whole book?
I think like the characters were based on your experiences. Like you took your experiences from your life and made it into like interject those points into it.
So some of the experiences is from my experiences. Like I am gay. It's not about that. So it is from my experiences. As I'm saying that it's not my autobiography.
No.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff in the book. I do enjoy cooking. I do enjoy traveling. I do love the Indian culture. My spouse is Indian, and so a lot of my experiences is also in the book. It's just not based solely on my life.
That's where that creative juice comes in.
Exactly. That's why it's called fiction.
Oh, well, you know, there's lots of people out there that call it fiction, and now we find out that half that stuff was true.
Yeah. like I'm saying, half the stuff is true in the book. It's,
yeah.
You know? So you just got to ask the right questions.
Oh, Mathis, you're playing with us. It's cute.
I have a question, and this is just like a side. It's like a side off question. I did not know Jay Sean was Canadian. Is that? I was just like, wait, Jay Sean? I didn't hear about him. I haven't heard of him in years, and it just randomly popped up.
Oh yeah,
the pretty little boy. Yes, I used to follow him. Yeah, he's good. I'm sorry.
Did you was that a reason why you put him in there? It's just random. It's just a random question, but do you like Jay Sean like that, or did you actually meet him and it was one of those?
No, I never met Jay Sean. However, I did find him attractive though when he was out, you know, making like hits and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I always found Jay Sean attractive.
I was just
I didn't throw him in there, and not only that, I also used him because he also liked hip hop, and so he's kind of fit, kind of like DJ persona in the story as well.
Yeah, okay. I can see that. Yeah, he's a beautiful kid. What was that, Didi? Yes.
I'm looking for my marks and I can't find them all. I like the way you use confused in this book.
Yeah.
Because you used it in a few different areas. There was once I think once it was confused spice, but another time it was confused space.
Oh wow, how did you know that?
Oh, because look.
You do your research.
Okay.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I didn't know I put that online, but yeah.
Yeah, you put. I noticed the way you had used confused. Yeah, confused space, and I thought that was kind of cool because it. I think it was in the last part of the book where it was confused space. And I thought that was the interesting way that you used it, because in the beginning of the book you used as well. But I can't find the page. I had it marked where you had used confused, and it wasn't spice, it wasn't space, it was something else. I can't remember.
Oh, yeah, but you know what? It was a section that I used confused space because I was talking. Because it fitted. A couple times
it
the book was
perfectly. I thought it was great.
Exactly. However, I changed the title of the book and called it Confused Spice. But I do use little like hints in the novel when I say confused space, because there's a lot of tension between Pierre and VJ.
Exactly.
And not only that, like I said, it has Buddhism philosophy in this novel, and there's a lot of confused space that everybody goes through. And so, you know, we had to clear out that space in our mind.
Yeah.
And so I was using it as that term as well. But at the last minute before I got it like published, my spouse decided that I should call it Confused Spice because it's dealing with food and spices. And I like the idea better actually. So
And it's a spicy book too.
Yes.
yeah, it's very spicy, very spicy. And so I sat on it for a bit, and I was like, you know, I like the sound of it, Confused Spice. And so, if not only that, VJ also being like have an Indian background, he don't like spicy food.
Yeah,
so,
I know. Yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of this. I'm not gonna say a lot, but most Indians, that second generation, not really into Indian food, surprisingly. Sometimes it's that disconnection from their heritage sometimes, because they're not brought up in India, but their parents are from India. And so they just grew up in America just eating burgers and fries. There's not with a lot of spice. And so that's how VJ was brought up.
Yeah,
that's how VJ is kind of brought up. And so he was not into spicy food until he met Pierre. And Pierre being a lover for Indian food, he was introducing spices to VJ, which was kind of weird to him. So that's when I think Confused Spice was a good title for the book.
I think it's an excellent title. I think it works really well.
It makes me think about that part in the book where, because I kept thinking he doesn't like spicy food, but when he's with Pierre, he's so comfortable. And I remember them having the pizza, and didn't it have jalapenos on it? And he was just like eating it with. And it was just a nice little quick thought that Pierre had about how VJ was eating this jalapeno pizza with no problem. I was like, oh, he's so comfortable. I mean, maybe he's changing. I don't know.
Yeah, he was only to like spicy food because of Pierre.
Yeah.
Remember, you know, he still had to eat it with a side of sour cream or a side of yogurt or rice or something like that to cool it. But you know, he would slowly start liking spicy food throughout the novel. So yeah, but like I said, Pierre was introducing him to these new food in a way that wasn't overpowering to his palate. So
exactly.
Someone asked, how long have you been writing, and is this your very first published work? Any poetry, etc.?
So I went to school for journalism. For a couple years ago, I graduated in journalism. And so, however, I didn't go into journalism to become an author, ironically. Actually, before I went into journalism, I took a couple of creative writing classes because my friend in Dubai, he wanted me to write food reviews for his news outlet, which is the Gulf News. And I felt like I wasn't really a good writer to write food reviews. Even though my interest was light in food, I just feel like I wasn't a good enough writer to write food reviews like that for the Gulf News. So to prepare myself, I took creative writing classes. And then during that creative writing class, the idea for Confused Spice and this other novel came about. Like, I don't know, I just got this story and it just was going crazy in my head. And then before I started journalism, I decided to go into journalism because I wanted to improve my writing even more. So, but before I went to journalism, I decided to write Confused Spice. And I think that's where Denise come in. We decided to do NaNoWriMo. And I was writing on Confused Spice then before I went to college. However, I didn't finish it because that's the year my father fell ill. So I had to place it on hold. And then college started. And then I waited till I finished college to write Confused Spice. And once I finished writing it, then I decided to publish it a couple years later. And then, but I'm glad all that happened because I had time to change some things throughout the novel. Writing was part of my life for the past few years. So, but when I was younger, I never thought I would be a writer though. I wasn't even thinking about that when I was a kid or anything like I thought I was going to be a public speaker or some sort when I was younger. So I think that's how journalism played a part in my life, I guess, too.
Okay,
So I want to know,
go ahead.
when VJ and Pierre are in India, in the second book.
Are you trying to plug? I don't think
know
you're going to do it.
Mathis has been to India. His husband is Indian. Okay.
Yeah.
I want y'all to explore India and bring it to us in the second book. Can you do that? Are you doing that?
Am I exploring India in the second book?
Yeah.
I don't want to give too much away, but
There'll be food,
Okay,
right?
they're on a plane.
There'll be food, right?
there's definitely going to be included
Okay.
in the next book, of course.
Well, I wanna know.
However, India might be in there. You just gotta check it out.
Will there be any sex?
How is
Sex
it
and
sex in the next
food?
book? Sex and food? It's gonna, you know what? It's gonna be a little spiciness in the next book. So yeah. Well,
yeah.
Actually, the next book get a little heated. So
Heated spice.
yeah, very a lot of heat. A lot of heat. Unexpected heat. So.
I have a question. How did you design this cover, or like how does that process go through? Like, because I actually really like the cover, but how did you choose the cover? Did you take these photos, do Photoshop, stuff like that?
No, I didn't hire models or anything like that. So what I did was I went to Shutterstock. It's a website where you can download images of people. You gotta pay for it, of course, but you can download images and you send it off to your editor. Oh, not your editor, but your graphic designer. And then, so how I get a little bit before myself. So how it came about is, so I looked for a graphic designer. So what I did was I just take one of my books from my bookshelves, and I just look on the back of the book or inside the book like this, and I just contact the graphic designer of one of my favorite books, and then we met up and we talked about the cover of the book, how I want it to look like, and who are one of my favorites authors and everything like that. And he get kind of a type of idea what type of books I like to read. And then we just talk about the book in whole so he can get an idea of the book. And then I told her I want food on the cover because the book is basically dealing with food. And I told her I want two characters on the cover because it's dealing with race relations. And so I wanted to represent an Indian character. However, I didn't want to just be catered towards just Indian readers because the story is not really about just the Indian character. So I told her I also want a Black character on the front cover. And so I sent him this images of the two characters, and then he played around with it as well. And then he sent me like 15 covers to choose from. And wow. And this cover came up, and I instantly liked it. And I didn't make decisions myself. I also asked friends and family members and my spouse, did they like the cover? And it was like kind of polarizing. People didn't like it. However, at the end of the day, I have to like it. I have to look at it. So I chose this cover, and I think it represented my personality more too, because I wanted something really positive and bright, and something that shows people of color in the LGBT in a positive light. And so I think this cover represents that. It doesn't look sexualized or anything, which you find on a lot of Black gay novels. And so I didn't want that at all. So I want something very positive to represent my community.
I think you made a good choice because you can see that the faces, they fit the characters.
They do.
So much. They're just perfect.
It's crazy how, I found these characters online and I was like, wow, they're actually perfect. And then, it's just amazing. Yeah.
Especially the Black one and the look, to the side, the little flirtatious look to the side, it's perfect. Yeah. It's perfect.
This is one of the best covers. It's just beautiful.
I mean, you can't tell me that this cover sitting up on the shelf, people are not like running to it to see what it's about, because
it's delicious.
It is. It's got two good-looking men on the front. It's colorful. I mean, it's everything to attract a reader.
Yeah, and
bravo for the cover. Excellent.
And the reason why I chose so VJ, the reason why he has like a low fade and have a darker complexion is because I also wanted to represent Indians that you normally don't see in books or see on covers of books, because there Indians come in all shades of color like Black people. And so so I want to represent VJ as a darker tone, because just to represent that side of the Indian culture, because we don't see a lot of it in books, I feel like. And so that's the reason why I chose.
There was a part in the book. I'm sorry. There was a part in the book where he was considering the arranged marriage, and he was talking about the light-skinned or the light-skinned. Well, I just got ghetto. Anyway, he was considering the light-skinned woman because it represents her position of an Indian family and her, her wealth and what have you. And a lot of times here in America, where Black people and white people, or Black people and Black people, go through a whole bunch of light skin, dark skin thing. When I came to that part, I was like, glad it's in there. It's not like everybody is ignorant to that fact, but there are still some people that are so behind and thinking that it's just a Black problem, thinking we have issues with dark skin and light skin only here in our little tiny community of America. It's not the end all be all of everything. And so when you address that in that culture, I've seen it in Chinese culture, where the Chinese will, consider the lighter skinned people. And to some people, they may all look the same tone, but they're not in their own culture. And then, so for it to be addressed in that book, I thought that was awesome, because it also goes right back to the cover too. It made me think about that. And I just really liked that part. It was a very small part, but it said a lot, because it's not just in America that happens. It's everywhere.
I agree.
Exactly. It happens everywhere. In a South Asian culture, a lot. So in the book, VJ, he also goes through some issues with his skin color as well, because he's the only dark-skinned person in his family. And so, because his mother remarried, and so his sister doesn't look like him. And so VJ, he just feel kind of uncomfortable in his family, just being the only dark-skinned person in his family.
Yeah, that was like my mother. She's the darkest one in her family, and she said that she was the black sheep. The thing about my mother is she's the most beautiful damn woman in the family. But anyway, we're gonna go there.
Someone, has your life changed any since becoming an official published author?
Has my life? Oh yeah, of course it's changed. Of course, like traveling. I have to like do book signings. I have to book I had to just do a lot of promotion for the book. So that's the reason why I don't make YouTube videos, guys. I miss it. I was gonna make it easy, but actually promoting yourself is not easy. Plus, I self-published this book. Everything is my ideas. So every decision that's created around this book is my decision. So I have to just promote myself, just make sure, just to get the word out there. So my life has changed actually a lot. Like I don't really cook anymore because of this book. I was always cook. So I have to put that on the back burner to promote the book. So like kids, I don't know if y'all remember, I don't know if y'all follow me on Instagram, but I was supposed to post a lot of food before this book came out.
Yes.
Making
me hungry.
Wondering why I don't post a lot on YouTube Instagram. It's because of this book, and I'm just trying to promote it as the best as my ability. But I still love food. and everything. So it just changed. Like I don't cook as much anymore, but it just changed my life just a little bit. But when it comes to like fame and all that stuff, I'm still the same person. I mean, you know, I don't know. I don't get people like coming up to me like ask for my autograph or anything like that. But I was just happy when I do book signings that people enjoy it and can connect with the characters. I've had like this one, like I have like people like even like send me instant messages saying that they can relate to the story, they being in situations like that. So that makes me feel good that it's connecting with people.
Yeah, that's good.
So have you been approached by anybody in the literary world about your book for the moment?
In the literary world, like
in the publishing world?
Oh, in the publishing world, no, not yet. No.
Not yet?
No.
What can we do to help that?
I'm sorry?
You need a street team. I said, what can we do to help that? You need a street team.
Just get the word out there. Like doing this is actually helps me actually to get the word out there about the book. So just keep promoting the book, telling people, your friends, family members, just keep talking about the book, and that's the only thing I can just think of at the moment.
Is this going to be a trilogy?
A trilogy, yes, it
or
is.
Or a duology?
Right now, it's just a trilogy at the moment.
Okay.
That's
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. I already read actually this lets you guys know. I mean to jump ahead, but I already read the third book of this novel.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I just working out the second part of the novel because usually we write trilogies. You know, you read a trilogy, the middle is always boring. It's like you know. So I don't want the bridge.
For most people.
I don't want the bridge to be like fluff. So I want to spend my time working on that and just revise it as much as possible.
Well, that's good that you're like that you are trying to avoid that happening, because I think that is the failure with most trilogies is that the second one, you know, you read it, it's like it has no real reason to exist because nothing really happens. So it's good that you're trying to, you know, tighten it up and make it so that it's, you know, it doesn't fall into that category.
Right.
So that's good to know that we know. So now we know it's going to be a trilogy. So we know what to expect.
Can I ask you guys? Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So each of you guys, what's your favorite part in the book?
Woo! Let me consult my notes.
So I think mine was the like, I think they were playing Truth or Dare, was it?
Oh God, that's mine too.
Because I feel like, so like I don't think we see a lot of male friendships in general, and I feel like when we do hear about male friendships, it's like, oh, they're talking trash about women, or like they're talking trash about sports, or they're playing video games, and it's like, I feel like more people, more men do kind of things like that than they, or at least I want them to do more things like that than they lead to, because you always see like women, and like women being sexualized in that way. It's like men always, like even when I was in college, like a lot of my guy friends would make jokes like about me and my roommate, how they would maybe dream of us like hooking up or something. Like, we're not doing any of that. We're just roommates, you know, kind of like that. So it's like sexualized in that way, but just like, it was kind of good to kind of see the script flipped. I think they actually have a genuine friendship, even though there's some sexual tension there. But I think that's real, like to say that, you know, like we like our friends because we really enjoy being around them. But that was one of my favorite scenes. And I was just very anxious to see how that scene was going to play out.
Yeah, the Truth or Dare. And I think just the whole budding friendship thing, that was just making me go, my head's just like doing this, like, what's he doing? What's he talking about? Because VJ was so natural and so naive. It was just like, dude, I mean, it's rare that you hear guys say, "Hey, yeah, you look really good, guy," you know, and you know, and there's some really good looking guys in the GQ magazine, you know. That was just, it made me laugh so much because he's so naturally naive and, you know, like, he's just my good friend Pierre. And I just love that. I mean, all the scenes. I think the thing that made me laugh the most is when he went to buy the T-shirt as a gift.
Yes.
The hockey T-shirt that I can't remember what it said now. But that was just like, and Pierre's reaction. I love it. What with Pierre's head, it was like, does he really think I like this T-shirt? Why is he buying me this T-shirt? It was just so frank and just so funny, and yeah, those were some of the best parts. I think it's just what's going on in Pierre's head when he's with VJ. I think those are the best. What about you, Michael?
Oh, I would have to say the part where his grandma, VJ's grandma, reveals the backstory of just because I always enjoy that. In stories in general, I always enjoy backstories and getting to know more of the character. And I really like it's almost like that part of the book, the scene changes because we go straight to India.
Yeah.
Because since it's flashback, it's kind of like a flashback. We go straight to India, so the scene changes. I just really like that part because we got to know more about VJ's mom, Miss Morrison.
Yeah.
Did you name her Miss Morrison after Toni Morrison?
Oh, you pick up a lot of good stuff.
The reason why I thought about that is because I know I've watched your channel, and obviously you read some Toni Morrison, and then when you had that Maya Angelou quote on there, I was like, oh, I wonder if she's just named after Toni Morrison. But I that was just me. That was just me thinking.
I did grab the name from Toni Morrison. Her last name from Toni Morrison.
Nice.
Y'all some really good readers.
Hey, we read. We know what we're doing here.
My favorite part was I truly liked the beginning and the end. I'll tell you the truth. The best part to me was the fact that, or my favorite part of it was the fact that these guys met up and, they're living side by side, in the same apartment building, and they're going over cooking, or he's cooking for him late at night. He gets off work, he rushes to him and he cooks, and he rushes to him again and he cooks, and they have this great time, and it happens so many times that it would have turned me off if right in the beginning of all that, getting to know one another as guys or friends or neighbors or whatever the situation was, and you would have just put them in the bed and they would have been pounding each other. I would have been like, damn it, Mathis, you better begin again, because that is a stereotype that does not need to be.
Did not happen. It was very titillating for a very long time.
Yeah, I love that because and then how just there was a sweetness at the end of being on the plane and him just, I don't know, I just really appreciated the fact that you did not have to pour them out.
Pour them out, yeah.
That's all I'm saying. That was my favorite part of it, the way you wrote the book. You made it respectable, and everybody can appreciate that. That's open enough to read an LGBTQ or STGW book or whatever. I'm just saying. I think that you handled it so good that it just made me smile throughout the book.
Yeah.
That's all. It's like
the product. Some people in the chat are saying their favorite moments. The product junkie says the hot pink was funny. I like the hug BJ gave Dre for Pierre. I thought that was interesting too. Pretty Brown Eye Reader said I like the grandma. And then the product also said the late night cooking. That was the excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was those scenes were fun to write. Yeah, I love the late night cooking scenes. It was just so much fun.
It has
And I wrote
everything.
those scenes. I actually wrote those scenes at night as well. So,
Because it has everything. The late night cooking, you've got the cooking, you've got the sexiness, you've got the flirtation. It's all there.
I wish a man would come over and cook it for me at night. He wouldn't make it out alive, but you know.
Now, we didn't talk about the therapist.
Oh.
Oh
Now,
yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like the therapist
Yeah.
because you can see that the therapist knows a lot more than what he's saying about, about VJ. Like he's got it figured out, but he never once says, you should do this or you should do that. He always asks or makes the statement that usually makes VJ go like this. 360, I'm not going to deal with that. It's there, and he makes a statement, but he's trying to put VJ in front of it, but he's not having it for the moment. So I kind of liked the therapist for that, because it's sort of like that voice that's obviously coming out, that should be in his head, that he's refusing to acknowledge. And I thought that was very well done, the meetings he has with the therapist.
Yeah.
How did you decide to put a therapist in there?
So the thing is, I was like, okay, we gotta dive into VJ's head, because VJ in the novel was very standoffish in some sense.
Yeah.
It was not in a good way. And so I was like, how can I create a character that would bring out VJ thoughts, because Pierre was barely like knocking that wall down. And so I decided to throw a therapist in there so we can get a little bit more of a sense where VJ's mind was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was smart. That was a smart idea.
I think it went very well with the fact that he was getting into meditation too. So he's got a therapist. So he's really looking into self-care, and that's kind of what I liked about it. And I keep saying it, to me, it just keeps going back to the way he felt about Pierre. He's meditating, he's seeing a psychiatrist, and he's also enjoying this friendship, and I don't know, it's a lot of self-care. And even though he's got a lot going on, and his mother, and all this stuff that's on his mind, and I think that you balanced him out really well with the therapy and the meditation.
Yeah, it was the best way of getting inside of his head.
Yeah.
Because he is pretty shy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is battling a lot of stuff within himself. So he's going through a lot of turmoil. And he's just going through so many outlets in life, trying to find an answer. And so he's going through like a self-discovery adventure.
I also really like the therapist too, because it's like a good thing to go to therapy. I just know in general that there's this stigma that if you get you go to therapy, you must, something's wrong with you, that type of thing. And I'm seeing more in media in general, also in a lot of the more current books, especially like Insecure. I don't know if you guys watched that show.
Yeah.
But they're also
Love it.
It's so good. They're tackling that issue too, because one of the characters is actually seeing a therapist, and it's like a first step on like getting better and seeing yourself in an introspective way. So really, I really like those scenes too. But I agree with Didi that he definitely knows something that as a reader we don't know. Troy says on here.
Hi, Troy.
Yes, hi.
Troy.
Yeah, I love Troy.
I get you, Denise. That's what makes the relationship. It was patient and organic.
Yes.
And then The product junkie says she also agreed that kept me turning the pages.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anticipation.
Mhm.
Foreplay.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I just want to keep people at the edge of their seats. I didn't want to make the pages long either, like the chapters long, because I really don't like chapters that are really long in books. So I wanted to keep the chapters short and to the point, and to the point, to the point. I didn't want like a lot of fluff in the book as well. So I just wanted the story just to keep going and going and going. And so that's what I was trying to do. So I was just trying to instill some suspense throughout the story in each chapter so people can keep turning the pages.
Mm.
That's a question that I also had for you too, because the chapters were so short and so to the point, and it did keep everything just moving along so like really nicely. This is a really quick read, but it's such an enjoyable read at the same time.
Yeah.
And then it's got some turmoil. It's got some of everything in it, and the friendships and the love interests, and it's got all of that in it. But my question was, or one of the questions that I had was, what would you say to like inspire a writer such as myself and Dee Dee, who's taken writing classes? Like sometimes I think what happens when people don't publish their books is we get overwhelmed because there's so much to say. There's so much to put in a book that in our head, the book is 400, 500, 600 pages. And when I'm reading that, I really thought, congratulations, Mathis. He just got it done. Because they're short and sweet. And it was like a really good thing for a writer or someone that wants to write a book, is to look at it and say, hey, he's got 3 books in his head.
Mm-hmm.
You have to start with one of them. Just get that one out there. And so how did you just like maintain yourself and not try to overthink the fact that I've got all these 3 books and it's not going to be a 700-page book. I can do it in 3 books. What made you do that?
Exactly. Well, I just wanted to get a book out there. However, I didn't write like I said, I was still working on the second book, so the book wasn't finished actually. But I was confused. I wrote the 3rd book actually first. I'm not gonna say the name of it just yet. I'm still working on the name of it. Then confused. It's so funny, and then I started working on the second book after that. So it's kind of like backwards in a way. And then people was asking for the second book after reading the first book, and so that kind of pushed me to write the second book right now. So I'm still working it out, and so that's how the whole trilogy is coming about. But just to let you guys know, there's nothing wrong with a 500 or 600 page book. Just make sure it's good. That's it. Just let you guys know. You don't have to do what I'm doing. This works for me. And so that's how I enjoy books that are 1,000 pages. Like Shataram is one of my favorite books, which inspired Confused Spice. So, if your book is that long, just make sure it's very to the point. Make sure it's not a lot of fluff. It's good. Make sure it's good. Yeah, just make sure if it's good to you. If you read your book and you're getting tired and bored of it, that means it's not good. So that's an indication that the scene is not good. Because bear in mind, your book going into editing, you got to read your book over and over again. And that can get tedious and boring. And so you got to make sure your book is as good as you can make it, because you're going to be reading that book over and over again. So I agree. So if that scene make you boring, cut it out. Just take it out, because it's not a good scene. So that's how I write.
Awesome, thank you.
Yeah.
How did you decide which food you were going to talk about in the book? Because I liked the opening. The opening is with Pierre making pastry. And
oh yeah. So I took a French class years ago, like probably 7 years ago. So I decided to take a French class because I wanted to learn French cooking. And so some of the parts are true in the book of my life, taking a French class. I did take a French class, and I had a French instructor like that. It was very Frenchy. And so she was actually, I think she was from Quebec. Quebec, they speak French as well. So I think she was from there. And yeah, and I decided to write, I don't know, like I said, I didn't expect to write that scene. I didn't expect that to be in the beginning of the scene of the book. After you finish, that's the thing, as you finish writing a book, you juggle the scenes to make sure to see if it's interesting to readers. And so that was initially the first scene of the book. I can't remember what was
it's very well done, that first scene.
Yeah, I decided to put that in the beginning is because I want Pierre and VJ to meet instantly, and I also wanted to show that Pierre love cooking. And so I was like, you know what, I gotta introduce Pierre going to cooking class or something. So I decided to put that in the front, and then later on he meets Pierre, VJ throughout. So that's how that came about. But I did take a French class.
It's good though. It's so well done.
Thank you.
Yeah, because it's the opening is light, and it's there's a bit of mystery for both characters right from the beginning, because you kind of want to know more about BJ, like, you know, this guy who's saying yo all the time. What's he all about? And then you immediately like Pierre because he seems like a great guy. He's interested in cooking and stuff. And then, of course, that first meeting in the elevator, it's just like, you know, scenes that we see in sitcoms and, you know, movies and things with two people in the elevator, and what is one or both of them thinking. So I thought it was a really cool way to start, you know, the story was through the, you know, the pastry making, and then, you know, him in the gym trying to get those extra, you know, kilos off from eating too many pastries.
Yeah. That's my life. That's my life.
Yeah, I thought it was good though. I thought it was well done. That was very, very clever to start that way.
Yeah.
And will they be recipes?
I'm sorry. Did y'all enjoy the first scene? How did y'all think the first scene was engaging?
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that?
Yeah. Very engaging. Well, will you have recipes in books 2 and 3?
Yeah.
Because I like that.
Yeah,
like
and
that?
are these your own recipes? Like, are these
getting
your
ready
like?
to hook myself up with that red velvet cake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because that looks good.
Yeah, that's every time I make real velvet for the holidays, it seems to be a favorite, and so
good.
Yeah. So I decided to put that in the book because my family members seem to love it, and they always asked me to make that, and they also asked me to make gorilla bread, and so I don't have gorilla bread in the book, but that's one of my family favorites.
What did you say? Gorilla bread?
Gorilla bread.
Okay.
It's like kind of like monkey bread.
Is that like monkey bread?
Yeah, it's like monkey bread. Yeah.
Okay. When you said gorilla bread, I was like, okay.
Oh, okay, that's what I was thinking. It's like monkey bread.
Is my monkey bread on steroids or what?
I think it's called differently.
Okay.
Yeah, but monkey bread. Yeah. Yeah, different names. So, but to answer Dee Dee's question, it will be recipes in the second book.
Good.
Yay.
I like that aspect. That's really clever. Having the recipes. I mean, there are not that many books that have that concept with recipes, but the ones that do, I just love that.
Oh, okay.
I love that because I just think that's such a good way to, you know, to immerse the reader into what's happening in that particular book. So for I think it's the same for like Water for Chocolate. I think it has recipes in the back. If you haven't read that one,
I think that one has like it mixed into as like a part of the
I
text.
just think that's so freaking cool. I don't know. I like that. I just think it's good. Okay, what's everybody saying online?
The Product Junkie says, she's been commenting. She says, I love short chapters. It was a smooth and easy read, light, yet addressing some serious issues. Make it a series. It's a trilogy. The first scene was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's... Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody got any more questions or comments?
No.
Matthew, when's your next stop to a bookstore, or book signing, or book reading?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Where are you going to be?
We're going to be. Oh dear, I have a book signing actually coming up. It's in Toronto. It's a urban Black book festival happening Sunday for Caravana. In Toronto, we have something called Caravana, where it's a Caribbean festival. And so there's an urban book festival happening Sunday. I would be there at 11 o'clock till perhaps 6. So if you guys want more information about that, you can just follow me on Twitter or go to my website, MathisBigley.com, for more information. But that's my next, my next event coming up.
Will you ever be coming to Houston to go to the National Black Book Festival? Even though you're Canadian?
I mean, actually, I'm American Canadian. I didn't give up my American citizenship. So, yeah, there's a possibility I might be there. But like I said, I'm doing everything on my own. So I don't really have a publishing behind me to like fly me anywhere over all over the world.
So you're not coming to Paris?
Yeah, you might be. I might be there. You just never know. I might be there because, like I said, this is a trilogy, so the book is going to keep going. So I might be there. So
you need a Patreon page so that we can.
Oh, that's good.
That's
sorry.
a good
idea.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that is a good idea. Get a Patreon page.
Yeah,
a Patreon page. What is that?
Where people actually pay, like Issa Rae. I mean, that's how she started with her Awkward Black Girl series.
Yeah.
And she literally has people paying, because I would pay like $2 a month to her.
Okay.
And I think Dominique has one. And but you know, they're everywhere. There are Patreon. There's support.
Yeah, that's YouTube. Everybody can have a Patreon page where you get people to sponsor you by they give you money. And then in exchange, you may do something a little different for Patreon givers as opposed to just your regular YouTube videos.
Or you could just make one. Yeah, or you could just make one. I mean, the YouTubers now, the BookTubers even, they have one too. So
yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll look into it.
Patreon or get one of those what do they call it? GoFundMe pages.
Yeah, GoFundMe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That way you can get people to sponsor you.
Yeah, this is a question I wanted to ask too. Since you mentioned Toronto, when you wrote it, like when you wrote those places in the books, are those real places? Like,
yeah, real places.
They are.
Yeah, and the restaurants that are included in the book are my favorite restaurants as well.
Nice.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah. I've been to the restaurants. I tried them out. So, yeah. And I'm also going to do the same thing in all my books as well. Everything that's in the book is going to be real places. Because I feel like Toronto, if you ever come to Toronto, you want to know about the city. And so I feel like, I'm going to set this book in Toronto so people will know more about the city. And so, this real restaurants, they still going on, like Buka, which I don't know, you remember DeAndre and Pierre had dinner there. So I've been to Buka before. Buka is an Italian restaurant here. It's really good. I recommend it. And so if you're ever in Toronto. So a lot of those restaurants are in the book.
There's your Patreon right there.
Wow.
Get those businesses to make sure that you get on a flight where you need to go.
Look, the Product Junkie just said perhaps one of those spots can sponsor you as well.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because like I said earlier, my friend wanted me to write restaurant reviews for the Golf News. However, I did write just a couple reviews for the Golf News. However, I decided to write reviews in the book. So like some of the restaurants I go to, I just decided to use the reviews from that restaurant in the book as well. So that's something else I did. So
that'd be interesting to have a character in one of the books.
So if you like the setting, if you like the setting of the book in the restaurant, you should go to that restaurant if you really like the setting, because it's really like that. So
awesome.
Yep.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, Denise. What was your question? Or
I was saying that it would be cool to have a character that's an actual food critic in one of the books, since
yeah.
And maybe he could be a love interest of somebody. I'm not saying who. I'm just saying.
Y'all so good. So in the third book, you kind of hitting it on the nose. So that's like I'm saying, y'all are very, very good. I know it's coming up against some really, hard questions and some, so intelligent people. So, but y'all just way ahead of me. Like, wow, I'm impressed. I'm so impressed. But Nish, you're gonna be surprised once you read the third book. You're like, hey, so I'm just telling you now, so you won't think I stole your idea. But
no,
you're in the right direction.
We know you already got it.
You're going in the right direction, Denise. Wow, interesting.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, so can I ask you guys a question? I know. So, are you guys readers and also writers?
No.
I'm asking everyone this.
I'm an aspiring writer, as in I don't write like I should, but I want to.
Aspiring writer. Yeah, that sounds like me.
What do you want to write, Morgan?
I want to write novels too. Like I went to undergrad and did creative writing, but I literally have not written a full story since then.
Yeah.
Which is terrible.
My problem is
when Mathis signed my book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Editing.
It's like the distractions.
Yeah. Books are my distraction.
Distractions.
Yeah, because the thing about writing is you have to do it. And you've got to make time to do it.
Yeah.
And you've got to make time to do it at whatever pace that is. And that's not always so easy, because in order to write, you need to clear your head to write.
Yes, you do.
You can't clear your head. You can't squirrel, carve out, an hour or two, at 5 a.m. or whatever it is. Then nothing gets written. Henceforth, nothing has been written in my book since last year, I don't think. I think I've written already maybe about 190 pages.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You have to finish that, Dee.
I don't know. I think I've pretty much dug myself a hole. I might have another 300 pages to write. I mean, for it to make sense. So we're going to be here a while, Morgan. We're going to be here a while, okay?
Yeah, Dee, I can't wait to read your book. I can't wait to read all your books, actually. So.
You might be waiting a while, Mathis.
I know. I spoke to you about it. I was shocked.
I already have written a book. I already wrote a book during NaNoWriMo a couple of years ago, maybe 4 years ago.
I remember, yeah.
But I kind of threw that in the trash.
No.
I say that, but not physically, really. I just kind of threw it in a box and, went about my day. Because I came to my senses when NaNoWriMo was over and I started reading. I was like, girl, what are you thinking? This is terrible.
Are you serious?
I'll be like, oh, this is good, and then be trash.
No.
I can't imagine it being terrible.
Trust me, it's not good, okay? So then when I started doing the writing course, I started up on another one. There was something I was writing in that course. It just sparked off something else. So I started writing that, and it seemed to be going really well. illustrated.
I think I talked to you about that, or you told. Yeah, we chatted, and you told me the story.
Yeah, that's the one I threw in the box.
You guys, it is so good.
No, it's not good.
Yes, it is.
How did you know this? You read it?
It's
No,
she
no,
pulled it
you didn't
off
read
the
it.
top of her head, and it was so captivating. I was like, keep going, keep going. It was so good. Yeah.
I think I would need to seriously rework that one to make it, be something that people would actually want to read.
Is it centered around family?
Yep.
Okay. The reason why I asked because you read a lot of novels that seem to be centered around family.
Yeah, it's about a black family, two black families in the 1980s.
Ooh.
In New Orleans.
Yeah.
Ooh, even better.
My hometown, girl. Right? Because I know.
I know, right?
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's particular. I don't know. I'll see if I dig it out of a box and look at it again and maybe see if I can make it into something that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not easy,
Yeah. That's, you know what? That's the challenging of being a writer. It seemed like when I wrote Confused Spice, it seemed like it just flows like that. But I'll tell you, this was like a headache as I was writing it. Like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Like, it's like, it's like driving a car and it's like pitch black, like with no headlights, she's just driving, in the dark. So, I think all writers experience that. I'm not gonna say all. Sometimes your first novel is something you probably know what you want to write about, but you sometimes just gotta sit down and write garbage. Because I know when I wrote Confused Spice, I had to write garbage before this novel came to anything. And then when I sent it to my editor, he said he didn't understand it. So he told me to rewrite some of the story. And then when I sent it back to him, then he said, okay, I like to start liking the direction of the story. So it's very important to get an editor so he can guide you in the right direction. It's either you can take the advice, but you're paying the money to take some advice. So you have to take the advice and then rework the story. And that's the hard part, to rework the story, because you thought it was good. So you can have someone tell you that, this part needs developing. This doesn't make sense. BJ is kind of vague. You need to expand his story a little bit more. So you need a second a professional person to look at it to point out to you what you need to improve on. And then initially, Confused Spice, I think I sent to him when it was like 45,000 words or something like that. And when I was writing the second time, I ended up writing more, like 30 more thousand words of the novel. So I wrote more of the novel, which I didn't know I had in me. So, so your editor kind of act like you're a cheerleader in some way. So perhaps that's what. Yeah. So you think you need to finish it as much as possible, then send it to a professional so they can take a look at it to make sure it's good.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what Marlon James told me when I met him.
Mm-hmm.
He said, yeah, you write something. And then when you actually read, you be like, that's crap. He said, trash.
Oh, gosh.
That first one is going to be crap.
And not only that,
there's nothing's going to be stretching.
And plus, you gotta have
and you get to write your book.
And plus, your story got to be unique from the stuff that's out there, for one. And two, you have to, what's what I was going to say? It has to be unique, and you also got to love your idea and your concept as well. So if you feel like a concept is not out there and it's unique, you got something. If you don't think your story is out there, you got something.
Yeah,
so you just got to build around it.
You have to take the time, write it, and he said, and don't be taking those 7 and 8 years to write no book. That's some bullshit. It don't take me 7 to 8 years to write no damn book. That's what he said. He said this in Shakespeare & Co. He said it. I think it was Monica was standing right next to me when he said this. That is some bullshit. He said, people be writing it. He said, you're going to write that book in like a year or something. He's like,
what stops us is procrastination. It's a lot of procrastination.
Nobody's taking a book. Come on. I was saying. That's why he said that is some bullshit. When people take 15 years to write a book.
Yeah.
You either know what you're going to write about or you don't. That's what he pretty much told me. So he said,
Like Terry McDonald, she wrote a book in 30 days. Yeah.
Well, I didn't know. You know what? People got their own different opinions. You know, it seemed like it would be faster because you know you have authors out there that crank out books like Daniel Steele. She crank out a book every month, or Nora Roberts. You know, so hey, they have a publisher.
Yeah, but that's the formula.
But you know what?
That is a formula.
Well, look at this. But look at this
formula. That ain't the same thing.
Exactly. But look at this though. When I wrote Confused Spice, before I went to college, my mindset was different when I rewrote it. Like when I picked it up again, my mindset was different, and so I actually saw like different things, like you know, that was like not good, and so I actually rewrite the story. So it's what I was trying to say is, it's so funny. The story not ready to get done unless you are ready. So it's like it takes. Maybe you write that story, and then a few years later, you actually, when you're like 10 years older, perhaps that story is ready at that point of time because you're a lot older and you can perhaps see some things, perhaps, or maybe that's just the time the story needs to be published. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm making sense or not. But like I said, if I published Confused Spice when I wrote it, I don't think it would be as good as I think it is. So I think it's just based on the time of what the book is meant to be done. So it's really hard because this is different writers. You know, I say maybe you need 10 years to write that book. Who knows? The only person that knows that is you. So
that's true.
You know.
It's only taking me 10 years is because I'm a lazy person.
No, maybe just not ready. Maybe your story just not.
I'm a lazy fucker. That's why it's taking me 10 years to write my book. It might even take me 20. You know.
I don't know. Like, like my favorite book, Shantaram from Gregory David. Also from the book you just read for Family. I can't remember his name. It was this indie author. His name is Akil.
Oh, Family. Yeah, that's
Actually, that book is really small, but it took him like I think 10 years to write that book.
Yeah, it's really small, concise.
Yeah. So I don't know. Different writers.
But you know, Family, it has a lot of, for him, I think it has some truth to it. Mm-hmm. It's based on a lot on his real life, I think.
Yeah. I think he mentioned that in the back of the book that's kind of based on his life.
Yeah. So I think it's a little easier though when you write something that's sort of based on your life, because you kind of know what you want to say and what you don't want to say, or how you can transform things. Mm-hmm. I think sometimes when you hit real fiction, I think sometimes as well as when you're writing, you want to write as well as some of the people you like reading. You see,
that's true.
So you're
my problem.
Judgmental on yourself for obvious reasons, like Toni Morrison. Duh, it ain't gonna happen. Okay. Come on.
New writers.
I want to be like, you know, I don't want to put out some, stuff that's just like, what, girl, come on, that's just, I think every writer does that to a certain extent, wants to write as well as whoever they love reading. They want the future readers of their book and feeling, when they read, their book. And I think that puts a lot of pressure on the person to the point where it can make you not want to write at all.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not going to write the Pulitzer Prize winning first novel, then I'm not writing nothing. Girl, sit down somewhere and just write a book.
If you're trying to write like Toni Morrison, man.
Come on. Look, I be putting my stuff high up in the sky and shit. I'm tripping.
But at the end of the day, you have to do yourself, because there are people gonna look at you and like, oh wow, I wish I could write like you. Because there are people that actually read my novel, they're like, oh, wow, I didn't know you can write like that. So it's like, if I feel so Toni Morrison feel the same way too. Like she probably feel like there's someone that she admired, and she probably feel like, oh wow, I can't write like that. So I think we all have that in us. Like we perhaps not really that good, until someone else read it.
Yeah. I think it reminds me of, like, of course, being an artist. You have to have certain level of arrogance even to get yourself out there. Because you are such your fan enough to get that product out there, or your book, or even with my painting, arrogant enough to just get that out there and actually show it at a show. And I did my own self-publishing with the poetry books way back in the day. I will never do that again, ever. But you have to have that level of, not that you are Toni Morrison and it's going to be that good, because it's really not. You need to have several if you think so. But you're going to have some level of, hey, this is going to sit next to Toni Morrison on the shelf. If that's the arrogance or something that you need to push your book or your product or whatever you're making and creating out there with Michael and his beautiful photography. If Michael didn't think his photography was the shit, then I wouldn't think it was the shit. But Michael's photography is so beautiful. It's like, I look at his little, is that your niece? And it really could make me cry. Like, it's so beautiful. And I'm like, he's such an artist. And you do have to have that level of, I'm going to get that book out there and it's going to be in the shelf and visualize it. And every time I see Mathis posting pictures of it on a shelf in a bookstore, on a shelf next to this book, on a shelf next
to James Baldwin.
Yeah, you have to have that, that mentality, that good. So, or you're never going to get it out there,
Yeah, just yesterday, I went to the mall just yesterday. I also posted on Instagram that, my book was like sitting there, right, almost next, I saw it at the mall sitting next to The Alchemist. I was like, oh, wow. Like seeing it at the mall next to The Alchemist, or like a few days ago, my book was almost sitting next to Here Comes the Sun, which is one of my favorite summer reads.
Oh, yes, such a good book.
Oh my God, I didn't expect for it to be so good. When I first read Here Comes the Sun, at first I thought it was boring. They said, everyone was like, you should keep reading it. So I can't read it.
That book is the bomb.com.
Whoa, she was just so deep in her family, creating that world.
So good.
That was really, like, that writing was awesome. She
nobody's business.
Exactly. So I was very impressed with her writing. Like, it started off rocky. Like I said, it was depressing. I'm not really into really depressing stories about prostitution and all that stuff. But then as I keep reading the story, about her family, about the character's family and everything, the development and how she described the mother in the story.
Yeah.
It just like make you want to work for her. My second novel, it's like, whoa, this girl can really, really, develop a story. I'm sorry, it's becoming like a BookTube review. So, I didn't have time to discuss the book, but actually, that's one of my favorite summer reads of this year.
Yeah,
Here Comes the Sun, this guy's
absolutely.
So, if you haven't read it, check it out.
Mathis, your the mother in Confused Spice, like, how far do you think or will you actually go back into her life? Because I'm so interested in the mother. I know she's a little bit of a bitchy, whatever, but I'm like interested on her, like from like, are you going to go back to where she was young and how she came about to marry someone that was not, of the same values that she's trying to put up on BJ in the beginning of the book?
No, I think her character is quite done, because this book here, we kind of adventure why she was both the way she was. She's from India, from a country that really didn't value women. Her father wanted her to be just marry an Indian man, live a good life, and be a good housewife. That was her life. But that was her in her mind. She was like, I don't want to do that. And so, so you get a lot of sense of where she was at in Confused Spice and why she turned out the way. Because when she moved to Canada, her life was completely different. She was living the life that she wanted to live, and she wanted kids to have that same that opportunity, because she really wasn't blessed with an opportunity. You know, she kind of took it like, you know, she kind of like went her own way, and she had to pay a price for it. And so and she just want her kids to just have a really good life, a life that she wished her parents could offer to her. Which her parents, not saying her parents didn't try to give her a good life, but he thought they were going to give her a good life, but it was the life that she did not want. And so, so I feel like I explored her character enough. And I think I gotta explore. I think a lot of people want me to explore Pierre, because I spent a lot of time exploring VJ and his mother. So a lot of people was like, "We need to explore Pierre a little bit more," because I like to know his backstory and everything like that. So I was there to explore Pierre's backstory, and the next time I was looking for, so I can get to know his mother or something like that. So.
Yeah. Cool.
Mm-hmm. But she might make a reappearance. You never know. I don't know. I'm not done writing the book, but I don't think I'm be like.
Boy, she may
mainly on her.
Second one, there's some high drama coming, I think.
Yeah. But she. I think I got a sense of who she is in the book.
Yeah. Cool things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any more comments from the watchers? The viewers.
This was about reading like books. Carl Lewis in Atlanta says, "Let the readers be the judge." I've heard authors admit the book that takes off they didn't think is their best work, but they'll know exactly what readers will love and connect with. Product Junkie says, "Yeah, a lot of writers seems to drop off books so surprisingly regularly." The
formula.
Yeah.
And then,
wait, doesn't Carl have a book coming out? Doesn't Carl have a book coming out soon?
I'm not sure.
Who's Carl?
I said, doesn't Carl have a book coming out soon?
He told me he was having a book coming out. I spoke to Carl on social media, because we follow each other, and he was working on a book. And plus, I follow him on YouTube too.
I think he said
he was talking about a book.
Soon.
So I told him I can't
remember exactly when.
I can't wait to read it, because he has some. He was telling me some ideas of his book. I don't want to get too much away, but I just want to read it. I want to read all your books. Denise.
Well, Mathis, you're going to have to be patient for my book, because it doesn't look like it's coming out anytime soon. Oh, yes, your book is coming out. When is it coming out, your book?
Oh, cool.
You said yes.
He said yes.
What's the name of his book?
Yeah, and when is it coming out?
Yeah, Carl, when is the book coming out?
No pressure.
I tried.
He says it's done, but I have a radical idea, so it may be the top of next year before I release it. Okay. That.
Yeah, me too.
Interesting. Okay. Right.
I'm going to Instagram these people, because I'm on Instagram, and people are on Instagram that belong to BookTube and watch BookTube and who are not watching this channel. So, excuse me. That's what I'm doing. That's why I'm looking down on my phone. Don't get on me.
Are you Instagramming in the middle of a live chat?
Because I went on Instagram to see why they are not live chatting to us. That's what I don't care. I will get on this.
That's right there.
Like, where you at?
Yeah, like why you not all over here watching?
Yeah.
Good job.
All right.
I just like to let you guys know, I enjoy all you guys' channels. I watch it faithfully. Like, I really enjoy you guys' channels. I had the pleasure to meet Morgan this year in DC, so that was awesome. That was really, we went out to eat and everything. So Yeah, that was awesome. I couldn't see Dee Dee. You was in the States this year as well.
Yeah,
I wanted to go
I
to
had,
New
I had a
Orleans.
quick slide through.
Yeah. I was like, oh man, I want to go, but
Yeah,
just couldn't go.
I was thinking about coming up that way, and it just
You were talking about the new museum, the new African American museum.
And when I couldn't get tickets, I was really pissed off, and I was like,
those tickets are such a pain to get.
I was like, well,
such
damn.
Yeah, so I would really love to see you then. Well, we probably meet later in the future. I don't know. I think so.
Well, I mean,
but Dee Dee, I've been watching your channel. I don't mean to make this about you as well. I was watching your channel for years. So this is like an honor actually, like talking to you, because you inspired my channel. And I don't think I ever told you that. MattsBooks and Bites. When I saw your channel. Yeah, when I saw your channel, I was like, oh my God. You're like, you read the books that I read. And so
I really liked your channel as soon as I saw it because of all the food. I said, boy, if I met this guy, we would never shut the fuck up because it'd be talking about food all the time. I'd be trying to get to a restaurant real quick.
Yeah. So and plus you love food and everything. And I was like, oh my goodness. I feel like we would be best friends. And so I instantly because I remember you used to film in your kitchen, I think, for your first video.
That's right, dear, because I was filming on my MacBook Pro.
Yeah, I remember. And I'm not gonna forget, in one of your first videos, you mentioned Elaine Harris.
Yeah.
You haven't read it yet, but it was like, I have Elaine Harris. I was like, wow, she like Elaine Harris? What?
I remember her. Remember Mathis?
Well, yeah, because at the time, I don't think there was anybody would have even known who Elaine Harris was because nobody was really talking about
him on our BookTube.
Harris. So I was like, okay, well, I'll mention it, but I don't know who's watching.
I was watching, so that inspired me.
Yeah, I loved it. I remember your book spine poetry video. Remember?
Oh my God, I haven't done very many of those. So that was way back.
And that was way back. But I remember when I first started my channel because I seen Dominique, because of course I was looking up art and I found Dominique. And then I found Dee Dee. And Dee Dee I was just filming from my cell phone, and Dee Dee's the one told me, turn your phone around so it can be cool. I was like, ooh, I did it.
Oh yeah.
That camera look, I was like, oh Jesus, flip it.
I've been telling everybody that. I'm like, if she don't turn her phone around.
That's funny. Yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah, because I also had the same issue on your channel. Like you were funny. I loved your content, but that phone, the way it was just like the black bars. I was like, why our phone is like that? I mean, our videos like that. So I'm glad you got it together.
I got like 3 cameras now.
But you know what? We all experienced that in our earlier videos because your video was not that hot. Filming in your kitchen, your lighting wasn't that good. And so, but now she has an intro. I was like, what? Jesus, you can't catch up with
well, my first videos were pretty bad. I mean, I was in the dark.
Yeah,
my very first video was in my living room in the dark with a Christmas tree in the background.
I remember, yeah.
You could see nothing in this video. Absolutely nothing. And then I graduated to my kitchen where everything is yellow. And the lighting is really bad. And I was like, okay, well, I'll just keep turning on this because I can do this on my Mac, you know. And then I got the camera and I was like, okay, this is a lot. And everybody was like, damn, that quality is really good all of a sudden. What did you do? It's just like when you change that aspect, it does get better.
Yeah, you get so many things from different people. Like I'll look at Dee Dee's channel and she'll review like City on Fire. I was like, oh my God. That was like one of the best reviews. And then I would look at Mathis and go, I need to make shorter videos. He's just to the point. Then I look at Michael's videos and go, I need to go outside. There's better lighting out there.
Oh my gosh, yes. Outside.
Yeah, I'm
They have
actually.
the dog in the background and Denise in the background, so it's really interesting.
Yeah, Michael make it look so easy
I
to
know.
talk about books and go outside and go to Starbucks. I was like, I can do that.
Look, I don't know why, Michael, you don't hit Starbucks needs to pay your ass, okay? They could pay you. Because
The good thing is,
Yeah, well, I was looking at Morgan's.
They look good, okay? They
Yeah,
pay you. They
I
need
watch
to give you a
Morgan,
contract.
and I feel like I need to take a class. Yeah.
Oh.
Morgan, she makes me want to take a class. Like, I need to read or go back to school.
Morgan makes me feel like I should be more intellectual because
no,
literally, I need to go back.
when you start saying like, oh yeah, I mean, I write my notes directly on the thing.
That's because I've been in school too long.
Thorough.
Well, it doesn't show. Yeah, it's like you just stepped out of class.
Yes, I've been in school way too long, and these loans are still biting me in the behind. So,
oh man. Well, that's the beauty of BookTube, to have different people doing different things and doing it very well. That's the main thing. If people watch it. It's just too bad some people don't do videos anymore, like Danielle.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I found her channel, and I was like, wait, it hasn't. Where are the videos? It was already like kind of done for like at least a year.
Oh yeah.
Is Danielle the one that likes James Bowen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love
I
James
love her.
Bowen.
Yeah, I love her channel too. I like how she really knows James Bowen. I mean, she's like studied him.
I'm like,
she did.
Tati. She said, Danielle, I'm gonna need you to get your shit together. Get back on BookTube. She was like, I don't know. And I'm like, girl, come on, get your shit together, get back on. So,
or just put her videos back up in school. The whole African American series she did. And
that's
the
awesome.
James Baldwin series. I literally like showed my granddaughters when they were here because they're so well thought out, and she had the links to go on a website or something at the time so that you could look at all the books or whatever. She had it so together. It was like, sitting in a college course. It was awesome. I love
those are some of the best videos on BookTube.
Yeah, exactly.
The best videos on BookTube. Especially if you don't know that much about African American literature. You go there.
Yeah.
You don't need, like countless people are, asking, oh, can you give me some recs? Dude, really? You're going to ask me for recs?
The internet? You're going to ask for recs?
Exactly.
And I don't know, just channel or go watch, Denise D. Cooper's channel. Go watch Morgan's channel. I mean, you ask me for recs? Really? Hey, I don't know what to say. I get a little confused.
Yeah,
because I'm getting the same as you. The blackout books 2018.
Oh.
Yes.
I have one person that's already asked me for recs. Really?
Yeah, man. That's the festivals, and that's why I wanted to know if Mathis was going to be on deal with, like, he's Canadian, and next year I won't be reading Confused Spice because it is all African Americans. And that's why, read it now. Read it.
Technically, you can read Confused.
To me, what it does,
he's African American.
Huh? Yeah, he has. That's true. He's Detroit, Michigan. So that's true. You can read Confused Spice,
and it goes under independent author.
Yeah, exactly. And but that's when I put that on there, I'm thinking that gives me a chance, and other readers a chance to look up the writer first, learn something about them, their background, just for that little challenge, even if you do it for 1 month.
Yeah.
If you just pick up a Marlon James off the shelf and go, I'm going to read that for a month for the blackout. No, because he's African. So that, writer is a little bit more. I mean, I literally will still to this day be reading a book by James Baldwin and people go, oh, who's that reader? Oh, it's James Baldwin. And me thinking, well, you know who James Baldwin is. And then when they say, well, who's James Baldwin? And I go, what? No, but anyway, but seriously.
Really, girl?
But I don't know, it's just, I think, like, I love to, like, turn the book over. And like I read about Mathis, even though we've met him on BookTube, I still read the blurb about Mathis. I went to MathisBailey.com, looked at his wonderful website. I like to, in the whole book experience. And then, like, when Mathis sent me the book, he sent me these tea lavender cookies.
Oh,
did y'all get a he sent me those too. They were delicious.
Yes, and it just fit with his whole foodie experience. Everything, and it was just this having this experience, and that fed into I love to read. I like learning about the writers and their back because they're so a part of the story, and that's to me part of what the Blackout is. And that to me is like when I went to Houston to the book, you would see Mathis Baileys all over the place with their books, and get them out there. That's all I'm saying. That's why I think he needs a street team. Or Patreon page or whatever.
Yeah, Patreon would be good. You should get a Patreon page.
Yeah, I have to look into that. But yeah, I really enjoyed your guys' support. Yeah, like guys, I support your YouTube channels. I mean, I actually just love. I don't comment as much like I used to because of the book, but before the book came out, I commented as much as possible. I don't know if y'all felt that, but. Yeah, I was trying to support you guys as much as possible because I love your guys' channel. Morgan, when you first came out, I just fell in love with you when you first came out.
Yeah, you were one of the first people who commented.
I just loved you from the start. And so I just loved everybody. I love Michael's personality. I thought it was very like outgoing. You just want to be his friend. Just want to go and talk about books.
You feel like his friend when he's on camera.
Exactly. At first, I want to go over to his house and eat when he have those events.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Those cooking videos are everything.
Oh,
I love that.
Those are so much.
Meet up at Michael.
Huh?
So in the Filipino culture, y'all normally cook that much food. It's like a lot of food.
Yeah, it's food is very important in Filipino culture. You eat it when there's like happy events, but like even there's like in traditional Filipino funeral, like even in a funeral, you have basically like a long party for a week. So it's like constant food, constant like get-togethers. It's a really important part of Filipino culture.
That sounds like people from New Orleans.
Yeah, that's why you see a lot of food in my vlogs because it's really important to us. It's really important for food in general. That's why I always love books when they have food because it's something that is part of my culture, and that's really important.
Yeah, it's just y'all like videos just make me hungry every time I watch. I just wish I could be there just to taste. Yeah. But yeah, keep making the videos, Michael. Your videos are very unique.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, they are.
I really enjoyed it. Your editing is really good too. Did you take any classes for editing at all, or the videography?
No. It's all I just in my opinion, once you learn the basics, you can watch tutorials on YouTube and it'll teach you the more advanced things. But yeah. I'm self-taught, so.
Oh wow, it's really good.
Yeah. But it's about you, not about me. So, it's about your book.
Yeah, it's just funny because I've been watching you guys for years, and it's like this is my opportunity to get to know you guys better. So it's like I don't know, like I should take this opportunity to talk to you guys, like we're on the phone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is true. It does feel like we're in like
party line
conversation.
Yeah, that's the best part about BookTube or the internet period. It started to, you know, back in the past, yeah, a long time ago, there was, you would get online and you would think, well, where did we go online? And then you got all these pages where you can read up online or YouTube, and everybody wants to see the latest video. And now live is like the latest thing. You know, they want to know what you're doing, like right now. I know today, but I don't want to watch that. I want to watch you. So your book is out right now, and here you are. So I hope that everybody is tuning in. I don't know if you guys can even still hear me. It looked like it froze, but anyway, I see Michael. Are you reading questions? I can only see now.
Oh.
I just see Michael.
No, some people says like about your channel, Morgan. It says Morgan reads heavy. Her analysis are very thorough. She feels like a professor. And then the Project Junkie says, "Oh yeah, hashtag read so lit 2018."
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
So
Working on that one.
oh, for February?
That was like the only photo challenge on Instagram I've successfully completed.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think we need to, I think I'm going to try to expand that a little bit this year and in 2018, try to do something bigger for it.
Video challenges?
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, BookTube ain't into that. When they hear it's hashtag read so lit, they're like, I'm out, you know. So only the people in our little corner of BookTube will participate, you know. I can't get out, you know, of this if they try to, they just don't seem interested. So a video challenge might be something that you know, I would consider trying to get people to do video challenges, or maybe do like a you know, a kind of 4 books maybe, and we do like an awards thing, you know, pick the book that, you know, you like the best, you and your subscribers, you know, kind of thing.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be real cool.
So
because
I'm trying to figure out something, but it's, you know, it's got to be something that's doable, that isn't going to invade people's lives too much, that they can actually do.
the Read So Lit Awards, top 10 Read So Lit books.
This is the possibility that
Oh, that sounds fun.
Read So Lit 2018. So I don't know, maybe ask I don't know,
Miss McFadden.
8 or booktubers to participate, and where they would suggest the book that they want to be up for the 2018 hashtag Read So Lit Awards.
Yeah.
That's the
You can
possibility.
run a poll. Yeah, you can run a poll on your.
Each person would run a poll on their channel, or they can suggest a book which would go into a big pot of 10 books or something like that. And then your subscribers would vote for the book that they think is the best. Now the thing is which books are we putting on there? That's right. You know,
books written in a certain amount of time, like the last 2 years or something.
Yeah,
you can even, I mean, you can
the last year or the last 2 years. So 2016 and 17, or just 2017. I don't know. Probably 2016, 2017 makes more sense.
Yeah, something that people had a chance to get their hands on and actually read. And yeah, sometimes, you know, I look at these Man Booker long lists or whatever, and I'm like, Jesus, give me a chance to read the book. So, you know,
this year, I mean, it's not that big. The Man Booker this year has been pretty sedate, you know, so it's stuff we already know, you know. These are hard-hitting, big-time authors that are on that list. It's not like the usual list.
I was shocked at how many books I was familiar with.
You can have an independent, you can have an independent section of it, you know, of the Read So Lit, where it can be like different categories, not a lot of categories, because then it'll be a lot more books, but like an independent writer like Mathis.
Yeah, we could do categories. We could do contemporary. We could do independent. We could do, you know, literary fiction or whatever. Or we can do nonfiction. You know, categories would make it more interesting. And then in the end, the thing is through these propositions is that people can see the different books that are out there, which will help people stop saying, "Give me Rex."
Yeah.
Because they're there, you know. So I'm thinking about something like that, and you know, we'll see if I can, you know, get that, and you know, see how many people are interested in, you know, doing something on their channel for it. You know, try to get at least 10 people that would make it interesting. At least 10. I mean, if there's more people that want to do it, and you know, not the kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you know, and live chats like this with, you know, different, you know, booktubers talking about some of the books that are on, for example, the independent list, or on the literary fiction, or on the, you know, historical fiction, or whatever it is.
Exactly.
So that it can be 1 month of, you know, videos, live chats, you know, featuring different, you know, booktubers talking about, you know, Black authors for the month of February, so that it, you know, so it's a little bit lively, you know, kind of thing.
Right.
So
22.
just a matter of getting it organized. Organized.
It's 5:22 p.m.
Yeah, and you know what time it is here? It's 12:22 a.m.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, go to bed.
Yeah.
Bye, y'all. It's been real, Mathis. I love you.
Yes, this was so much fun.
Thanks to everybody for watching. Thanks, Mathis, for giving us this chance to talk to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, peace out. Love you guys.
Bye.
Speak with you
Bye.
soon.
Bye,
Bye.
Bye, everybody.